meeting during this period. Okay, so I have a meeting the second half of the day. So I'm not gonna be here. So what I'm teaching today, you guys are gonna get some practice problems on that tomorrow. All right, so what we're gonna be doing, greetings, hi, quiz is over, we're paying attention, we have the phones put away, we have our notes out. Let's go. You ready? Armand? Boris? Let's go. All right. So what we're going to be doing today is the opposite of what you just did on the quiz. Okay. What were you doing on that quiz? Multiplying. And what was the moment? When you have the parentheses, what type of multiplying is that? What's it called?
Distributing.
All right. Distributing, right? The distributive property. So we're going to be doing the opposite of the distributive property. It's called factoring. Okay. What's a factor? Like if I said, give me the factors of 12. Isa? Okay, what multiplies to be 12? So give me factors of 12. Hannah? 3 and 4. Bella? 6 and 2. Who else? Is that it? 3 and 4, 6 and 2. What else is there?
12 and 1.
12 and 1, right? Those are all the factors of 12. Those are all the numbers that go into 12. Okay, now give me the factors of 20. Haley, 10 and 2. Boris, 20 and 1. Yusuf, 5 and 4. Okay, those are all the factors. Those are the numbers that multiply to be both, to be 20. Now, what is the greatest common factor? GCF. The greatest common factor of those two numbers. So think about all the factors of 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Now, what are the factors of 20? And which one do they have in common? And what's the largest one? Okay, it's 4, right? 2 goes into both of those, but 4 also does. So 4 would be the GCF. Greatest common factor. Yes, so that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be pulling out the greatest common factor. It's the reverse of the distributive property. So the directions will be factor. Here's my first problem. 12x minus 20. All right. So now the distributive property, remember we have a number and then we have parentheses and we take that number and we multiply it by the stuff in the parentheses, and we end up with this. So the first thing we want to do is we want to pull out the GCF. What goes into 12x and 20? Hannah? 4. We just talked about it. 20 and 12. The GCF is 4. And now this is the reverse of the distributive property. What did we multiply 4 by to get 12x?
3.
4 times 3 is 12. What else do we need? And the x. Good. 4 times 3x is 12x. And then 4 times what is negative 20? Negative 5. So on the quiz that we just took, we started with this. We multiplied it together and ended up with this. So now we're working backwards. Okay, we're working backwards by pulling out the GCF, greatest common factor. Okay, so reverse of the distributive property. Number 2. Greetings.
Then you have to reply to that email saying yes, Dr. Ed is not letting me.
Oh, really? Anna? Yeah. Okay, so now there's a different GCF. It's not just a number, right? So what number goes into both 15 and 10? 5, right? But that's not the greatest common factor because there's a bigger term that goes into 15x squared and 10x? Yusuf? Yeah, we could also pull out an x, right? X times what is x? X times what is x? Come on, man. X times 1 is x. X times what is x squared? 1x or just x, right? Okay, so x can also be multiplied by something to get both of those. So basically what we're doing is we pulled out the smallest degree. 5x times what is 15x squared? We've got a 3 and an x, right? 5 times 3 is 15. X times x is x squared. And then 5x times -2 is -10. Okay, so we're just working backwards from what we did on the quiz. So far, so good? Spill your water?
No.
All right, so what's the largest number that goes into those three terms? Sebastian?
3.
I think there's a bigger one.
6.
6, yeah. Now you can pull out a 3, but that's not the GCF. When you factor, I want to factor completely. So you're pulling out the greatest common factor. So Ibrahim, I think this is the same thing you're doing in your class.
Yeah.
All right, so just pay attention to these, and then we'll go from there. So you have Dr. Edwards as your study hall teacher. Well, that's because you probably show up late, right? Then you screw around in study hall, and then when you actually ask and be like, "Oh, I'm going to be a student," go ask for help. He probably thinks you're lying, right? Okay. So what do you want up there and show to my email? Look, it says sure. All right. So we're going to take a 6. And then what variable are we pulling out? Hannah? Now remember, it has to be the greatest common factor. We can pull out something larger than an x. X does go into all three of those. But x to another degree is even larger that goes into all three of those. Does x squared go into all three of those? No? What's x squared times x? What's x squared times x to the second? X to the fourth. What's x squared times x to the third? What's x squared times x to the fourth? So does x squared go into all three of those? Does x to the third go into all three of those? What's x to the third times 1? What's x to the third times x squared? What's x to the third times x to the third? Okay. Does x to the third go in there? We just showed that it does, Danelle. Why are you saying no? What about x to the fourth? Does x to the fourth go into all of those? Oh, what are you going to multiply? I mean, x to the negative. We're going to multiply by x to the -1? 4 minus 1? No, okay, right? So x to the third is the variable that you could pull out. If you were listening when I said over here, which one are we pulling out? Which one? Yeah, but which variable do we pull out? The smallest one, the smallest exponent. 6x to the third. Now we make a set of parentheses. 6 times what is 18? What do we do with this? Comes along for the ride. It's 3, it's x squared, it's times 1. Boom, done. Don't need to write it. Minus 6 times -2 is -12. Now what's the exponent? Now it's to the 2, right? It's x squared. 3 plus 2 is 5. Minus 5 x to the third. Remember, you're adding the exponents, not multiplying. Okay, 3 plus 3 is 6. Okay, what's up, Nina? Greatest common factor. You were in the bathroom, yeah. 12 and 20 is how we started the lesson. I was talking about the factors of 12 and 20. Yeah, you missed that part. You're in the back. Okay, ready?
How is it even gonna help us in life? I'm like, actually, what are you gonna do with this?
Problem solving skills, Armand. You're learning problem solving skills. You're showing people that you know how to learn new material. Do weird things with your brain. It also leads into harder mathematics, which you need to know the basics before you can get into that. Maybe somebody in here wants to be an engineer. Maybe there's plenty of math professions that it could be. Right face? What's up, Sebastian? Oh, okay. What, did you just say in life? What are we doing right now? Dreaming? Yeah. All right, where we are, some of us are dreaming, daydreaming. Ibrahim, pay attention. Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Oh, yeah, you came from the. Okay, sorry. All right, what are we doing here? You got me all distracted, Armand. You give me the answer for this one. What is this? What is this? I was writing the problem. I'm not even close to being done. I don't even know where I am right now. Minus, let's do 18 x to the 5th y. Now our whole conversation is being recorded too, Armand. I'm recording this for the students that aren't here, so because I'm not going to be in class tomorrow, they can watch the video and know how to do it. And then they're going to see Armand going, when are we ever going to use this in life? When are you going to use the history that you just learned in life? You're not going to don't repeat it. You don't want to repeat it. Like if it's a bad thing, or if it is a good thing, then you repeat it. Right? What about the chemistry lab that you blew up? When are you going to use that in life? Don't do it again. Don't blow up things. Right. Okay. What goes into 27 and 18, Armand? You're up. This is what happens when you're in second grade and you ask the teacher, why do I have to memorize my multiplication facts in life? I have a calculator in my pocket. What is it?
It's 9.
All right, thank you. 9. What variable? X to the what?
1. 5. 2.
Hannah, can you explain again which one we pull out?
We pull out the one that's the smallest factor. No, it's the largest factor.
2. The largest factor for the numbers, right? With the variables, the largest factor is the one that has the smallest exponent. Y to what?
Wait, what? 2. 1.
Y to the first. Okay, now we can make our parentheses. 9 times 3. X squared, we already have one. Y to the 4.
Damn, why does it 4?
Minus.
Oh, you subtract.
Now, Haley, we okay? What about the Y? We already have the Y, right? The 2 plus 3 gives us our 5. Have a wonderful day. All right?
Yeah.
You right?
Didn't we do the fingers yesterday and for multiplying that to 9? 9 times 3? Didn't we do that yesterday?
Yeah, this thing.
1, 2, 3, 27.
I've done that shit in like 3rd grade.
All right.
You should put them in a lower class.
That's not very nice. Either.
I'm just
That's
messing
very
around.
disrespectful, you be.
Armand just got 100% on the last test. He
Exactly.
Goodbye,
cheated, but he
cheating.
got no. I'm just joking. All right.